Alright, welcome to the gear breakdown post-Continental Divide Trail, and I'll actually be showing you my gear on the Arizona Trail because I was lazy during my time off in between, so here we are. We will start with everything that's in my pack, and then we'll go through everything on my person. This is everything that is on my pack and some things that go on my body. It looks a little bit bigger because my food bag is actually full, because like I said, I'm currently on trail. So I guess we'll just start with left to right. So my bag is an Osprey Atmos 65 liter anti-gravity. This puppy has gone through, I think, let's see, about 3,200 miles and no signs of wear. She's a beaut, and I think I got the right size too, because I'm able to pack down as much stuff as I want, and I can usually get about, I think the most I've gotten was about 10 days of food in it, so that's pretty solid. Trekking poles in the back, those are Black Diamond Trail Ergo corks. I like the cork handles. They do a better job with grip, and they don't feel like they hurt my hands as much. Got comfy wristbands. The flick lock adjustments on them are much better than the twist lock. I just think they work out a lot better and they're more reliable. So I also put duct tape around both of those so that I can use it for repairs. Down here I have my rain setup. So this is my rain jacket. It's a North Face, I don't even know, but it has some pit zips on it to keep ventilated. Usual chest pocket. It's got all the adjustments on the hood, things like that. Relatively light, not the best, not the worst. I have had some trouble with keeping it waterproof. It's not the best at shedding water, so I don't know if I'd go with North Face again if I got another one. I also have a pack cover, so this goes over my pack when it's raining to keep the water off of my pack the best I can. So this is a Granite Gear, just a standard extra large pack cover, so that's pretty good. Rain pants. These are the Kathmandu Pack and Go. Kathmandu is a company in New Zealand exclusively, so I got my stuff down there when I hiked the Te Araroa. So they zip into the pocket, relatively light, pack pretty small, nice to have when it's raining. Oh, what else we got down here? This is my butt pad. This is a Thermarest Z seat. Got this from a trail angel in southern New Mexico. I found it underneath the seat of his car, and he totally forgot that he had it, so he just gave it to me. Got some Crocs as my camp shoes. I know my name is Jandals, so I should have some Jandals, but I switched to Crocs because I can wear them with my socks on. I can do water crossings with them. They're great for town shoes. And they have, well, one of them has a sport mode, so I can even hike in them. So those are pretty nice and relatively light, but a bit bulky. But there's no way I'm going back. Crocs are the way to go. Onto my water system. So on the CDT, I had one 1.5 liter smart water bottle and one 700 ml smart water bottle. The reason you get smart water is because the threads match up with the Sawyer Squeeze. This is my Sawyer Squeeze water filter. So I use this for dirty water, and I push it into this for clean water. So that's pretty nice there. That setup has been working out for me very well. I have toilet paper. Let's see, a med kit has like anti-diarrheal, Benadryl, ibuprofen, some band-aids, a wrap, like a leg wrap, and then some other odds and ends for small cuts and scrapes. Nothing for anything serious. So got that. And we got some clothes in here. Cold weather. I have Outdoor Research glove liners. Pretty thin, but that makes them pretty good for hiking because you can keep some dexterity. And they also have the fingertips on them, so you can still use your phone, although mine have since worn off. So they work really well as a midweight, but if it's freezing cold outside, don't expect to have warm hands. For my head, I also have this Outdoor Research down beanie. This is actually down feathers inside of this puppy. Keep you really warm. And this is really nice to have. I enjoy that beanie quite a bit. I think that was a good purchase. I also have a buff. This one happens to be a CDT buff. I got this in Twin Lakes, Colorado for free from the Twin Lakes General Store. So that's really nice. Buffs are really good to have. It's a good snot rag, good good sweat wipe, just basically like a hanky, but then it's also good for covering your face if it's dusty outside, or keeping the sun off you if it's really sunny. I mean, there's endless possibilities with that. I also have a pair of Darn Tough socks. This is my second pair, so I wear these to bed, try to keep them clean so I can keep my sleeping bag clean. And then this is just an extra one in case one gets a hole in it. Back up. So, oh yes, my shelter system. So this is my sleeping bag. It is the Kathmandu Pegasus 27 degree bag. Not the lightest. I think it's 2.6 pounds. A little bulky. Doesn't keep you terribly warm, but it does the job, and that's good enough for my budget. So I also have a blow-up air mattress sleeping pad. This is a Thermarest Neo Air All Season. I think they're actually discontinued. I don't know why. It's a great product. That's one of my favorite purchases. It's held up for, I think, 3 years of hiking and backpacking now, and I only had to put like 3 patches on pinhole leaks, and it's been great. It has an R value of 5, so it's incredibly warm. It has a space blanket inside of it that reflects your body heat, so it's really nice to have. So I highly, excuse me, oh my goodness, highly recommend that. If you can find one that's still for sale online. They're relatively cheap as far as like the higher end air mattresses go, so like under $100. Then my tent. This is the Nemo Hornet one person. This tent is incredibly light. It's also pretty small. It's only good enough for one person and maybe a backpack. It has a single vestibule, single door, and it's very bright green. But it's probably the lightest tent I've ever had, and it's also freestanding, has poles, so it's easy to set up, easy to clean, take down. So that works for me. Also inside of there is my tent stakes. Those are MSR groundhogs. Highly recommend those. They're the only tent stakes I've ever had that I have not been able to bend or break. Not that I'm trying to do it, but they've survived a couple through hikes and they've done very well. Actually, Medicine Man has his tent up right now, his Z-Packs, and I can show you the MSR groundhog right now because he has the same ones. So it's a 3-point design, and it gives it quite a bit of strength. And there's also the Groundhog Mini. They're a bit smaller than the regulars, but they hold just as much. So really great product. You know, a little on the expensive side, but that's a buy once, cry once type deal because I don't think these things will ever break. So, and then with that, I also have a Sea to Summit Aeros pillow. Ultra light, very light, and it's nice to have the blow up pillow. Definitely a luxury item, but I think it gets me so much better sleep, so I definitely enjoy having that. Cook system, I have a Sea to Summit long handled angled head spork. Definitely good for getting down into some of those meals like Northsides, Mountain House, potatoes, things like that. And then I have my cook pot. Oh gosh, what is this? This is the Evernew Titanium. Super light. It's really nice. And then I have my own cook pot cozies that I made out of windshield reflectors for sunlight, just to keep my hot chocolate warm in the morning. So let's see what's inside here. Fitting inside everything is a fuel canister. The brand doesn't matter. I get different brands all the time. Whatever's the cheapest, I go for it. Then my stove, the MSR Pocket Rocket. There's a lot of different variations of the Pocket Rocket. I think this one's like 2nd generation, something like that, but it's been working for me for ever since I got it a couple years ago, so I don't have any qualms about it. Some of these tines can get bent sometimes, but I bent them right back, and there's no metal fatigue that's threatened to break them as of yet, so that's pretty good. I also keep in here just a small Gerber knife, just for cutting string and cheese. That's about it. And then a Bic lighter for lighting up the stove. So that's my whole cook system right there. And then have some, let's see, odds and ends. Keep these in my hip belt pocket. Some chapstick, some hand sanitizer, and then this is pretty cool. This is sunscreen, but it comes in almost like a deodorant stick type, so you can just rub it on your face and nose and stuff without getting your hands greasy and getting your dirty, oily fingers on your face and stuff. So that's really nice to have. This is a bottle of my homemade monkey butt cream. This is basically like a homemade diaper rash ointment. It's meant for like butt chafe, thigh chafe, things like that. It's a half zinc oxide powder, half petroleum jelly. So it has the lubricant, and then it has the antibacterial qualities as well. So those all stay in my hip belt. And then in here, this is my ditty bag. So I keep in here 550 cord, some cable ties, dental floss, toothbrush, toothpaste, some extra Ziploc bags, sometimes some laundry quarters, some earplugs, my wallet, some extra earbuds for like those skull candy type earbuds. So in case I lose one, I have some extras in there. And I believe that's it. Oh, and an extra smart water bottle cap. Just a bunch of little extra things in case I lose them. So that's in there. And this is all my electronics. So I have a Garmin InReach. This is both a GPS and a satellite messenger. So I can message family and friends. I usually do it about twice a day, letting them know when I start and end my hike. It's been helping me out quite a bit. It got me out of some sticky situations when my navigation failed, and I was also able to call an SOS during a wildfire. So very reliable, good piece of tech there. My headlamp is a Petzl. I'm not really sure what kind, doesn't say, but I don't really like this, to be honest. It only has 2 settings, bright white light and super bright white light. So in the early morning or at night when you try to be a little more inconspicuous, try not to pry on other people, this light just shines everywhere. So, I mean, it's pretty good if you want bright light for sure, but it'd be nice to have some better settings. It takes 3 AAA batteries as well. So, pretty reliable, just, you know, doesn't have all the settings I want. So my electronics bag, I have this big old battery. This is the Anker 21,000 milliamp external battery power bank. That'll get about 8 charges on a phone, maybe even more. So I switched from solar, and I'll never go back because this gives me all the juice I need for the longest sections. I did a 1-week section, 180 miles in the Bob Marshall Wilderness of Montana, and I only took 2 bars off of the 4 bars of this, so definitely stood the test of time. So I got a cord to charge that, cord to charge that, and then the white cord charges my phone, which I'm filming on, and the phone I'm filming on is an LG G7. I also have some headphones, earbuds. I happen to have 2 right now because I got a new set and I didn't want to throw out the old set. Currently I have my passport in there, although I shouldn't need it. And then a charging block. It's kind of like a random one I got off Amazon, but it has 2 USB ports into the wall, and it's fast charging. So that way I can charge 2 things at once. So that's all my electronics there. And then my food bag. This is an OPSAC. It is odor-proof, so you can potentially, if you're so inclined like myself, you can sleep with your food, and you shouldn't have any problems with critters. I haven't had any problems with animals. Any big animals thus far. I had 1 mouse chew a hole through my tent on the Tearoa, but that was about it. So right now it's full of food. So that is everything that's in my pack. And then there's just what's on my body. Alright, starting from the top, I have just a random pair of safety sunglasses. There's nothing special about them, maybe $5. Iron Man, apparently. I don't even know the brands. I'll lose these pretty often, so I don't use them that much. And then I also have this. It's just a military issue boonie hat I got from my dad. It's a hand-me-down. He's a retired Army, and just standard issue full brim hat, really good for the sun to keep as much as possible off of all the sensitive skin like your ears and nose and things like that. It's very helpful. Down here, my puffy, love this thing. It is a Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer. There's the logo. It's got breast pockets, side pockets. I use them all the time. It keeps me really warm, and it's one of my most used pieces of gear, which I really love. Underneath, I have a long sleeve, just like a Brooks long sleeve shirt I got at REI because it was a discount. I like having long clothes to keep the sun off my skin. I don't like putting the sunscreen everywhere, especially when I sweat so much, it just falls off anyways. So, and then I have some Glacier glove, sun gloves. That also keeps the sun off of the back of my hand because I'm always using my trekking poles, so those are exposed to the sun, and that's another spot that could get burned pretty well. So, like I said, I use clothes to cover up instead of sunscreen. So that's everything from here. Pants, these are the REI Saharas. pretty nice. They have they don't have a zip off or anything, but they have cargo pockets, regular pockets. Even have two in the back, and then it has these clips on the side, so you can roll up the pant legs to two different lengths. So one to right about here past the knees, and one right above the knees. So that's pretty nice. So down to the feet, I have another pair of Darn Tough socks, about the crew length. I like having them a bit longer. And then have these Ultra gaiters to keep the dirt out of my Ultra Lone Peak 4 trail runners. I've used about, I think this is my third pair, and I get about 800 miles out of a good pair before they need to be replaced. When I was on the CDT, I think I put about 1,200 per pair, and that's probably why I had some ankle problems towards the end of the trail. So that is everything. This is me and my pack. So that is everything I had on the Continental Divide Trail. So that is everything post-CDT, but then pre-AZT, starting the Arizona Trail, the only difference in my entire gear is I just added some water bottles. So I have an extra 1.5 and an extra 700 ml, just to add that extra, 2.2 liters to my set. So AZT 2019, this is all my gear, and that is also my post-CDT gear. So that is my gear breakdown, and keep an eye out for the CDT Q&A, and then also the AZT starting. So it should be pretty exciting.